Excuse me. Good evening. It's 6:30. In fact, it's just slightly a tad later. And we are live for the April mini quilt. So I have my phone just in case, but I'm hoping that I'm going to see all the comments. I can see there's a few of you watching. So if you would like to just make a comment, say you're there, and then I'll know things are working swimmingly. Yes. Okay. No, we're not. So, not at the moment anyway. Let me see what I can find here. So, hello everybody. Oh, I can see I'm... That's it, taking it down to silent. So, good evening. Oh, yes, Lindsay's there. Hello, Lindsay. Hello, Elaine. Hello, Glynis. Hello, Heather. Beverly, Christine, Val, Jill, Jeeta, Chris, Shirley. Oh, it says they're all watching. I know that. Hello, Anne. Hello, Jill and John. Hi, John. Hello, Jackie. Hello, Catherine. That's good, Catherine. Hello. I'm glad you topped your G&T up. Hello, Leslie. Hello, Jules. Hello, Dorothy. And hello, Jill. Yeah, we're not getting any comments up there. And hello, Diane. Yeah, it's lovely to see all of you here tonight. So, you haven't seen what the picture or what the little mini quilt is like, but you may have seen that I have put the PDF up there. Hello, Liz. Hello, Alison. Hello, Pamela. Hello, Patty. Frog in my throat. Haven't had a cough all day long. Just as I'm starting, you know. Hello, Lorraine. Hello, Caroline. On a lovely sunny... Yeah, a bit chilly though, Caroline. Hello, Jack. Lovely to see you all. Yes, but it is nice and bright, and I haven't put the lights on, so I might need it because we'll be going probably till about 7:45 tonight. Hello, Janice. Hello, Leslie. Hello, Heather. Oh, fabulous, Heather. That's good. Hello, Shirley from the Ribble Valley. Lovely, Shirley. Hello, Marilyn. I need a little break sometime. Hello, Meg. And hello, Josie. Wow. It must be one of those days where you thought, I need to sit down and have a little watch to see what we're going to do tonight. I was going to show you something else. I was going to show you. It will be open to all. Hello, Vanessa, my lovely, and Amanda, and Kirsten, and Mandy. I've had this in mind for a little while, purely because I haven't put it on the website yet, but I do have... Oh, good evening, Gidget and Yvonne. I do have Decaville. Now, we've always had Decaville Light. That's lovely, Jenny. And I see you've ordered your Bargello strips as well. Hello, Vanessa. Hello, Anne. Hello, Kathleen and Tom. Oh, that is a relief, Kathy. Oh, my goodness. It does cross my mind, and I just try to put it to the back of my mind. I really don't know what has got stage fright. Yeah, I'll have stage fright the next time I'm on Create and Craft, but not in the offing yet. I know there's perhaps not people in this group, but people have been asking when am I next on. I have no plans as yet. You know, there's a few family commitments that I need. You know, we need to have that all totally in order before I take on the extra work. I'm finding, even though I'm having a little break from it and relieve myself of all that pressure of getting products ready every month and using all that time, I'm still filling my time. You know, it's amazing. It's like people when they retire, they say, I don't know how I found the time to work. Well, it's the same here. And people used to say to me, I don't know how you find the time to do it all. I do realise now how much time Martin gave me by doing the shopping, doing the post trips, doing the Oundle trips, all these things which take hours of my time, and I'm having to do them now as well. So my day just flies by. It's just one of those things, and you'll know exactly what I mean. So hello, Sue. Hello, Nikki. Hello, Pat. Hello, Christine. Good evening, Janet and Sheena. You've never tried, but you've always wanted to do it, Sheena. Right. Well, as per usual, I have a nice, easy way. You will never, ever believe that each of... Well, I'll show you it in just a minute, but I'm going to show you, actually, what I'm going to be doing on Friday. Organised, you say? Not normally, but I found a little... it was a short amount of time before having my evening meal, and I thought, you can't waste an hour and a half, so I just sat down and did it. Hello, Caroline's just retired, and you feel exactly like that. I thought you would. When I retire, never, I don't think. Hello, Barbara. Martin is not wonderful. The walking thing, can't drive. I've done the shopping for the first time in ages today. Oh my goodness, I couldn't wait to get out of there. Honestly, I couldn't. And Janet's busier than ever since she's retired. I know. But we are moving forward. He may have to have. He has an X-ray or scan booked. Don't know which. He didn't know. Men. But he may have steroid injections. Now that needle is big, isn't it? I haven't told him. I'll just let him wait and see. But anything that keeps him out of hospital, he'll be pleased with. But I just want him walking again, you know, and doing all those menial things. So does he. Jack, your mum always used to say that. Yeah. Hello, Patricia. Hello, Kim. And Catherine retired 7 years and you still don't know how you got the time. I know. Oh, lovely. Oh, that's lovely, Janet. Janet, I spoke to her last week probably, and making the quilt, she showed us it, I think in the Sew Trisha Sews group, and it's now been given to the person who wanted it made, and it's gone down a storm. Fabulous. I'm sure it was lovely. You've got beautiful fabrics anyway, and yes, it just must have been. I haven't seen it in the group yet, but no doubt you'll show us. Hello, Sue. Hello, worker bee. I know. I can't help it. I cannot sit down and do nothing. Even if I'm watching telly, I have the iPad, and Martin will speak as well, so I can do 3 things at a time. Because, you know, sometimes I don't listen to everything he says, but then, you know, if it's irrelevant, I make him laugh anyway. Oh, Catherine loves shopping. Oh, it is a pity you don't live nearer to me. Food shopping? Oh, no. Hello, Joanna. You struggle to find me. Oh, dear. Just come to the Sew with Trisha group and you'll be fine. Excuse me. Hello, Susan. Oh, Martin's had an achy leg from hip to knee for some months, but as per usual, we leave it because it'll always be better tomorrow, and it hasn't. And he eventually got round to seeing, getting a doctor's appointment. The nurse that he saw said it was sciatica. I said, no, it is not. Me not being medical, but I do watch 24 Hours in A&E, Holby and Casualty. So, you know, I'm well qualified really, aren't I? And I listen to what they're saying and I watch what symptoms are because it must be a little bit near the truth. And so eventually, well, he had exercises to do and the exercises made him worse. So he was told by one of the physios, osteoarthritis related to the hip. So now today he's seen a GP and he will be having a scan and move on from there. Possibly steroid injections, at worst a hip replacement, but we shall see. That's for the future. It wasn't painful. Oh, steroid jabs are fine because there's a painkiller in the injection. Oh, I'll tell him that when he asks. Hello, Christine. Instant relief, sir. He'll be pleased to hear that. Catherine only drives an automatic and you just love it. Oh, right. Yes, that's what we'll have to do. Hello, Michelle. Oh, thank you, Jack. Hello, Linda. Beverly's waiting for an X-ray on your hip. You received a letter. If I hadn't heard by August to ring then. Oh, well, I'm glad you received a letter today. Injections are good. Well, if it gives him some relief, he can hardly, he does get up and down because he has to keep moving, or he sits down, but then it's not good then. So we shall see. Right. Oh, that's what you've got, Glynis. So you know exactly what he feels like. So, yeah, acupuncture's good. Yeah. I wonder. Right, so let me show you. This is what we're going to be making on Friday. Because I had some Decaville, and it's a little note block with a little flip-up lid. I decided not to put it a four-way. Can you see? So it's got 3 sides, not 4. And if I'd thought about it, I would have had my hearts going the right way. But hey-ho, the top's going the right way. So I decided to do it with a lid so that you can just go easy. You can flip it back right on there or pick the paper out. There we are. And I shall have some kits for this because I don't have a lot, but I think I've got about 20 of these memo blocks. So I thought I'd do a little kit for this. I thought it was quite sweet. I'm quite pleased with doing that. So there is machine sewing, as you can see around there, but there is also hand sewing as well. So as long as you like a little bit of hand sewing, didn't take me long to do it, but I thought it was quite sweet. So I'll pop that, all right, throw the block on the floor. So tonight, let me just see. Yeah, Michelle, it wasn't sciatica at all. Yeah, it was a pain. It would have been a pain. Right, so, yeah, so you love that idea. Jolly good, jolly good. And it is pretty easy, because you know me, I like to make things easy. And like you say, it is useful. So, tonight's Flying Geese quilt. There's no comments still coming up, so hey-ho. I will just have to see... I will keep it down here. So would you like to see tonight's mini quilt? I try and bring something different within each quilt. And when I made this, I wanted to do it in a hurry. So you know, when I put the binding on, I usually pop it onto the back and bring it over to the front so I can machine stitch. Trisha forgot. So I hand stitched, and it is quite neat. That doesn't look very straight, does it? But the hand stitching is quite neat, and I did enjoy it. Martin said, why are you sitting in the window? Because I need the light. This was a couple of nights ago, I think. But here we are. So we have Flying Geese. Now, these squares here and here and here are crying out for something to be there. And I've had it hanging so that I walk past it, so that at some point I think, oh, I know what I'll do. But I couldn't remember it. Oh, I'm glad you're loving it. Oh, hello, Aurora. No, I've just been chatting to everybody. PDF printed, won't be able to start until the wedding cake's finished. Oh, loads of projects stacking up. Oh, you'll find time at some point. As long as we don't have a really hot summer when you can't sit and it's too hot to do. Yeah, I do enjoy hand stitching them. It's just a time thing. So these colourways, I haven't got the kits on the website yet, but I will do. So this is one colourway. So this was my sample, and I'm doing it in another colourway tonight. Oh, Alison loves both. Thank you, Gidget. Thank you. Oh, and Jack, thank you very much. I hope it is. I wanted to make it just a little bit different. And as I say, we haven't done Flying Geese a lot. I have demoed it before, but I thought just to have it doing something a little bit different. And then these ones going, oh, I should do it the wrong way. Yeah, so, whoops, no, we'll go that way. So it's going round, can you see? Oh no, I've got 2 going that way, an up and a down. Oh, I even put it the wrong way round, actually. I meant to have them going round in a circle. Never mind, never mind. You can do it whichever. What I meant, this one here, I wanted then. Oh no, I suppose. Yeah, I should have had this one going that way. But never mind, it looks okay, doesn't it, I think. I knew I'd put one going this way at the bottom and that way at the top. So, But what they do, if you can break it down in your mind, there's one strip at the top and one strip at the bottom, and then there's this centre panel here going around this square, and it's how all the comments are coming up. Kits for Bargello. I've got strips sets. There's 3 different ones on the website, Linda, if you wanted to have a look there. So yes, they are. And there will be kits for these, but as I say, I haven't actually popped it on the website yet. So there, you know, you can put your take on this, whatever you like. And if you would like to put something in here, whether it be some free motion quilting, I thought about a little bit of a plique. I thought about some contrast stitching, hand quilting I felt like doing, but I didn't know what I wanted to, didn't exactly know what I wanted to do. And I didn't want to spoil it because it does stand out as it is with those plain areas as well. So that is what we shall be making. And what I'll do is, I won't go through to the quilting and binding of it, but I'll get through to having the flange. Can you see this little flange, which we have done before, I think, and put the borders on as well. I should have, but I didn't. No, perhaps we'll have to, let's just pop it, see if it sits there. Pop those down. Done. Got my oil. Right, there we go. A little bit like that. You might do initials. That's a good idea. Yeah, and it does look like Dutchman's puzzle blocks, doesn't it? But we have this centre square there. So I don't need my phone anymore. So let's just pop that up there. What I was going to say, I'll put some mess this up. If you, when we did the kaleidoscopes, I have got these rulers on the website now too. So there's lots of those there. If they haven't all gone from the website, I shall have them in the Thrifty Thursday sale on Thursday. So, shall we begin? So what you will need, this is my second kit. Now I'll show you, this makes just one, you see this 4 here, so 1 square of fabric and 1 large square of fabric and 4 small squares. Can you see there? 1, 2, 3, 4. How on earth is 1 large square of fabric and 4 small squares of fabric going to make, let me show you what it will make. It will make this, okay? So, 1 piece of fabric, like so, 4 small squares make this. Incredible. So, I have got some of them prepared, because in this quilt, what you will make, you'll get all the measurements in the PDF, which is already in the group. So if you want to download it, save it, print it, but make sure you've done that before next Sunday evening, by which time I will remind you again on Sunday, because what I thought I would do, Sunday is the 30th of April, 1st of May on the Monday, so we will have the giveaway. We will have the fabric bundle giveaway for 1 lucky member this month. And I will do that on Sunday evening. I will do that, what time shall I do it? 6:30, shall I say? 6:30 on Sunday, and we'll do that draw. And if we've got anything else to chat about, we'll chat about that too. So, this is what we are going to do. So, let's dip you down, and I've got the ironing board in a different position. Let's just put that there. Okay. So we have our square and we have our 4 smaller squares. As I say, all the measurements are in the PDF, so you'll be able to look at those and work out what, and I will show you the placement of these. So the first thing we need to do, which I have already done, is what's happening on Sunday, Jill? I'm doing the members fabric bundle giveaway at 6:30. Oh, you're on the ferry, Mary. Okay. I have drawn a diagonal line only on these 4 small squares. I have drawn a diagonal line, 1, 2, 3, 4, from one corner to the diagonally opposite corner. And what we're going to do is we are going to stitch 1/4 of an inch to each side, both sides of that line, 1/4 of an inch we're going to stitch. But it is how we lay these pieces. So the first thing we're going to do is, with our square, we're going to take, so this, if it's a pattern fabric, this small square, it would be on the wrong side. So it's usually lighter on the wrong side anyway. So we're going to place it in a corner, okay, like so. And we're going to line up those outer edges there, make sure they are perfectly aligned. If you would like to put a pin, I'm just going to put a pin there, by all means do. Put them out of the way, because as I said, we are going to be stitching 1/4 of an inch to each side of that line. Then we're going to take a second one with the diagonal line on there, diagonal line, and we are going to place that so the diagonal line is pointing from the corner into the centre of our block, of our square. We're going to pop the other small square into the diagonally opposite corner. So it's always opposite corners, and line those edges up. And what you will find is that that diagonal line that you've drawn on 2 separate ones, it will actually align. It will look as though it's one continuous line. So we were just, I mean, when I was making it, I just put my fingers on it to hold them. But if you feel more comfortable having pins there, pin out of the way so that we can stitch our 1/4 of an inch seam allowance on each side. Hello, Mira. Right. Oh, John said you'll be there on Sunday. So I am lining up my foot, 1/4 of an inch foot, or if you do the usual thing of moving your needle position to 5.5 and use your standard foot, absolutely fine. You can do either way. And I have also got my stitch length taken down to a 1.8, which I like for my patchwork. So I'm still going to put my finger on here, and I'm thinking my bobbin may run out, so I've already got one bobbin wound so that we don't go through all that again. So stitch down one side, let the machine take the fabric through. We are stitching on a bias. We're stitching on the diagonal, so if you start stretching it, it's going to pull it out of proportion. So just let your foot and your feed dogs just take that through. So we'll now take out our pins, and we have got, looks strange, but we have got those diagonal lines that we've stitched 1/4 of an inch to each side. So da-de-da, where is my other little mat? What I'm going to do, because, okay, I'll just use my little snippers. I'm now going to cut on the, I haven't got my biggest scissors here. I'm just cutting either with a rotary cutter or with scissors, and I'm just using a pair of snips which are nice and sturdy, and they actually cut really well. But I wouldn't recommend using snips to cut your fabric, just to snip your threads. So now I've got 2 pieces here. So you can either go to the ironing board or I finger press. So what I now do is lift up these small, looks strange, doesn't it? But I'm going to lift up these small pieces, small triangle, and I'm going to nail press or finger press those. So I'm just running my nail along the seam to make sure that they are fully opened. So you found a different, oh, we're talking about dogs. Okay, so there is one, and we'll do exactly the same to the other one. So push it open, run your nail along the seam, and then that is fully opened. So we can see we've got 2 there. So we work on one at a time. And the first one, the diagonal line this time, is there's only one corner that it can fit into because we've got triangles down here. So it must fit in this one. And you want your diagonal line going from that corner point, and the diagonal line goes in between those. Let me just put a pin in here. I actually hold it in place better with my fingers, but if I just put one pin in, and you can see then the diagonal line is pointing right in between these 2 small triangles. And again, I'll pop the other one on while we're here. So I've got my second one. I'm going to put that into that corner, align those edges perfectly, and you'll see that that drawn line goes right in between the 2 small triangles again. And what we're going to do is we're going to stitch 1/4 inch to the side of that drawn line as well. So let's just go here, pop it down, and we will go straight down here. And as I say, allow the sewing machine to take it through, swivel it around, and come back up the other side. So stitch all that way. Make sure you want to see, if you can see those, can you see those stitching? It goes straight, it doesn't come into that drawn line, because that's where things can go a little bit wrong. So we've done that one. We'll now take the second one as well and pop that down. I've aligned my foot with that drawn line, and stitch and cut, and then flip it around and take it back up the other side. So guess what we're going to do next? Well, first of all, we'll take out the pin on both of them, and then we are going to snip up the middle here. So we've got 2 pieces, and once we have snipped through that hard bit, we've got 2 more pieces there, and then here we'll snip down here. So rotary cutter is what I did previously. It's just easy, it's a very short seam, but now we have got 4 pieces. So again, I will go to the ironing board now, but we can just finger press that open, or nail press. Just push it back and run your nail along there, and you can see already we have our flying geese. Right, so I'm just looking to see where did I put my cutting mat, because we just need to trim this. But what I'll perhaps do, if I take this out of the way for a moment, and if I dip it right down here, so I've got a cutting mat just there. So actually what we'll do first of all, let me pop that over there, we'll just go to the ironing board, because we do need to press these, to press them properly. So the first step then is, there is our iron, and we will take our flying geese here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I shall just stand up to press these. So what I would normally do, you see they're sort of standing up a little bit, aren't they? So if we press from the geese and then over to the outsides, so that's beautifully flat. And then the same here, we'll take this one, so onto that and push out towards those, to the outer edges. That way, I mean, I have nail pressed it so it's come out nicely, but we want that to, not fall on the floor, but we want that to just flatten down and then over to the centre of those other ones as well. So we have now got, that's it then, nicely pressed. So what we're going to do now is just take them to the cutting mat, because we're just going to trim these up so that they fit perfectly. And we want, you can see these little dog ears here. at the sides. We'll trim those off, but that distance there is more than 1/4 of an inch. So what we're going to do, we're going to trim these so that they are just 2 inches wide, and it will leave 1/4 of an inch above here. Otherwise they'll be floating geese. So let's just get the ruler so that you can see it. We'll put one to the side here, and I'm going to line up the 2 inch marking along that bottom edge. And I mean, it's gone over a little bit, but when we stitched it together, don't worry about that. What we're making sure is that the 1/4 of an inch line along here, when I trim this part off, so the background, it leaves me 1/4 of an inch for my seam allowance. So as you can see, I've got 1/4 of an inch there, and we'll do that the same with the other ones too. Sometimes there's a little bit more, sometimes there's a little bit less. So there's 2 and number 3. So we are lining that 2 inch with the bottom. As you can see, it can be the pressing, it can be that I've just stretched it just that little bit, but by trimming off you can look at these vertical lines as well, that they line up with the edge. That is always good, and that's given us now 4 perfect triangles with that 1/4 of an inch at the top. So now we come to stitch them together. That's if we don't pull the iPad off the, there we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you lay them out how they're going to go, so they're all pointing in one direction, and we don't have any seams to match as such. What we want to do, we want to make sure the point is not cut off, which is why we left that 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. But because we're going to line that along this straight edge here, which has no seams to match, it makes life easy. So let's just turn that around that way, because I'm going to put right sides together, and you can see that's the right way round, because that's got to go on there, right sides together, and you can align that edge. So I've aligned that outer rectangle, and what you can see, you can pin that there, but actually I'll put a little black mark where, so you can see a little bit better. So I was going to change my thread, but see where I put that black mark? That's where those 2 diagonal seams come together. And what we're going to do is we're going to stitch along the top here, and we're going to either stitch through the intersection, or we're going to go just minimally, like a needle's width to the right, so into the seam, so this way. So I'll just align that again. So I'm aligning these short edges here first of all, because they will line up perfectly. And then we're still using the same length of stitch, and we're going to stitch across here. Now I might, because I've made a bit of a mess with, I'll just see if we can come in just a little bit more, so that we can see I am going to stitch right through, because I want that point to remain. So when we pull it back, I've still got that point. Can you see that point there? Just what we wanted. So I'll just push that back for the time, and then we're going to put the next one on here. So right sides together, and line up those outer edges just there and here. And then just see, there's a bit of thread just there. Just see if you can see. You see where those seams come across each other? So we're going to stitch through that seam, or just to the right of the the stitching of that point where they come together. So let's just push that up just a little bit. So again, you just want to come that way, that's better. So I've got that lined up at that edge. I've got it lined up across the top as well. I will pull that as I go so that it is perfectly aligned there. So just move that up a little bit and make sure the seam doesn't come up, and then straight across, keeping that 1/4 inch again, and we've got our point there again. And then similarly, I've got my last one, which is going to go right sides together. So you've always got a plain edge across here and one with a point in on this side. So if you have 2 plain edges going together, you know that isn't going to give you flying geese. Okay, so there's no point there, no point there. If you stitch that together, what you would get, which is still very nice, you would get a square on point, so a diamond light. And that is another technique, but for this one we're doing flying geese. So I'm just going to line that up there and line it up at this side. Make sure that one is first, and then just pull that across, start stitching, and then just pull that so that fits. And we're going straight to, whoops, that point. So that one I could feel was just slightly more. Yeah, so with that one I've got a little bit more. So I could actually, have I gone in a little bit there? Or perhaps I didn't trim it off enough. So let me I'll just stitch across there again, just to bring it in a little bit more, so that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, all those points kept. So now we need to, let's just take that back again. We need to go to the ironing board here. Whoops, there we go. Turning that around. So we don't need any more cutting at the moment, but we do need our flying geese, which we have just popped together. So here is our flying geese, and you can see how those seams are telling me they're standing up and they're wanting to go that way. So I'm going to take my iron, I'm going to iron sideways on, and I'm not pulling it, I'm just making the seams, and then just go over the top, flip it over to the other side, and just make sure I haven't pressed any pleats in here. Okay, and there, and give it a little spritz there as well. And there we have our, whoops, wrong way, beautiful flying geese block. So I'm going to, let's take that off in a minute, because we don't need that on at the moment. So I am going to now lay these out. Let's go back a little bit more so that I've got more spread there, because we have got the other, oh, and that's what I haven't done. Right, so now what I might do, let me take this, because you can't really see on that busy board. So let's take this quilt here. That's better. We'll put that on the top. So we are going to place our blocks like so. And you know what I haven't cut? I haven't cut my, so where is my, oh, there's 5. So I've got 2 like this. So I'll have one of those at the top and one at the bottom. So we're going to have that one going there. We want our square in the middle. And we'll have that one, oh, so we'll have that one going that way. And we'll have that one going that way. So what we have now, want a square in the middle. And all for Trisha being, or did I cut them? No, Trisha didn't. I just need some little squares to go there. So bear with 1 minute. Right, so I'm back. So we need 3 of these squares that are going to fit in the middle. One is going to fit here. There we go, there we go. And one is going to fit here. Okay, so we've got a diagonal as far as they are. Whoops, there we go. Oops. So you can see what I have made these go the right way. So I've made that come here, down, so it's going round in a circle. This one is going that way, and this bottom one is going that way. So there are 6 of these Flying Geese blocks. If you want to do 6 different colours, absolutely fine. What the kits will have is 2 the same at top and bottom. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to class this as 3 pieces. This one is 1 piece, this one at the bottom is another piece, and then we'll work on this centre here, which is like a square in full. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place right sides together there, and then right sides together here, and then once I've stitched it, I'm going to bring it back and we'll come over. I'm just going to stitch and I'll show you how I'm going to stitch. Let's see, over here. There we are. So this way up you can actually see through it, but what I prefer to do is flip it around and stitch so that I can see where the seams intersect. So 1/4 inch again, and we will just stitch across here, and again making sure we don't lose that point. Oh, I haven't clipped those little bits off, have I? So now we have a piece with our point intact, and we have a long piece with the square on the end. So I'm just going to pop that back where it came from, and I'm just going to pick up the next one and again flip it over. We could sew from that side, but better to sew from this side. Line those top edges, and I'm going to stitch across here to join the square to make it one long length. So I'm looking at that where those seams intersect and stitch across. So again, hopefully, yep, we've still got our point. So we're going to put that back to where that came from. Okay, so I'll just swivel you around just to see. I just put the, whoops, no, we're going to put, where am I? Down here. I put them back to where they came from. Oh, it's hard, hard, hard. There we are. Nope, haven't got that yet. But I probably haven't got it up high enough. Whoops. Oh goodness, I flipped it round. Okay, so I have put it back to where, so I've got this one here and this one here. Now what we're going to do is work on this centre. Oh no, I flipped it on the floor, that's why. Okay, that one goes just there. So we're going to work on this centre 4, and I'm going to move that over so that we can see exactly what we're doing. I'll just take that away and pop it on there. Okay, so we'll go back to the machine. So I've put them here. I've put those 4 blocks like so. So they're all going around this centre square here. So the first thing I'm going to do is work this one to this one, the top one. So I'm going to put that right sides together, and you'll see in the photo in the instructions where it says stitch from the pin towards the edge of the fabric. So I'm going to put a pin in here, and what you have to do in the photograph, it's not that obvious, but it is there. Look for a little circular pin, and we're just going to stitch from the pin out to that edge. So let me just move that over there. So So if I take this, or I'll go from the edge inwards, just make sure that aligns nicely. And as I say, we'll just go, no need to backstitch, but we just want to have that small, so I'm going to put it back to where it came from so that you can see. So we'll open it out to the right way, but we've got that bit unattached. This is what's called a partial seam. So I'm going to work around. So now, because I have got a full seam here, that is attached, I can now place the next one round, the one that joins to it, to line up with that length. So I'm going to flip that there for a minute. So I'm going to line this up, and what you'll find is that matches up with that. Can you see there? That's all perfectly fitting. So pin it if you would like to. Now what you'll also see is that unfortunately my seams are flipped that way. If they were flipped down, you would be able to see where that intersection is as well. But because we have our 1/4 inches, I'm just going to stitch a 1/4 inch seam down there, and it will work, I assure you. So we will stitch down here, make sure those seams don't poke up, because we've pressed them that way and we want them to stay, we don't want them to twist. So just put my finger down there just to hold that in place, and we've got that one. So now we can open that one up. There we have a seam. I haven't clipped those points off, they all are nice, the points are there. So we've got these two were like so. So the next one, we have a seam here because we've still got that one that isn't attached to here, and there's a reason for that. So we can put the next one round, right sides together, and we can stitch along there. So as you can see, this also fits together with that bit along the back. So again, we will stitch a 1/4 inch seam. Again, we can't see that, but if we're using our 1/4 inch seam allowance, we are going to be fine. And I'm just lining that up perfectly at this end as well, and just make sure it all lines up down this side as well. So pin if you'd like to. You know me, I just like to go for it. And let's see that that's okay too. So yeah, we've still got our points there as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, that's that way. We'll bring that one in there, and we have still got a long seam here, which is, we'll take that bit away, so we can again put our next one around to here. So I will flip it around because we are sewing along this side. So align that edge, and that lines up beautifully there. Now you will see there's a seam at the side there, so those you can, I missed the other ones, those you can nest. Can you see there's a seam behind there and here? So you can nest that seam, and that looks as though that is going to nest very nicely. So again, pin if you would like to, or just hold that with your finger, and again we will stitch down here, making sure that seam doesn't come up, and there, and then I'm just making sure that this lines up down the bottom here as well, and stitch across that seam and down to the bottom. Okay, so that one was around here, wasn't it? So it was that way around. So that one is now, and we've still kept our points there. So now we've got this last piece that needs to be finished off. So we can flip that over, and although we've partially stitched it, we can now place that together and we can stitch. So we can align that at that corner, and we can stitch the rest of the seam the whole way down. So, and just pull that so that all that aligns nicely. You will also have the nesting there, which can you? We've got the nesting seams here, and they are nesting beautifully. So as I pull that out, it just aligns this edge that I'm stitching along as well. So I've got my finger down on there, and again we will just feel that a little bit there. Whoops, that's it. And that will also, we'll just stitch up to where we stopped sewing. So I've gone 2 or 3 stitches over there, and there we have our full block. So that needs a little bit of pressing as well. So I'm going to do that. Am I going to do that around here? Yeah, we can. No, that's it. Oh, no, it doesn't like rotate to my, whoops, so I've gone upside down. So we're putting that just here. No, let's go up a little bit, and that's it. Oops. So that you can see. There we are. Let's just move that. No, that's that way. So all I'm going to do, I've got my piece here, piece in the middle, and the piece there. I do need to have the iron back on as well. So we need to press these pieces. So we've got this piece for the bottom. So we'll do this one. And all I'm going to do is let my seam go back. And I didn't set the seam, but I'm just going to press over there. And then, oh, I'm pressing on my, so again, the seams are telling me they want to go that way. There we go. So I'm just going to press that in that direction. So that one went up there, that one went down there. And then this centre one, I'm just going to press around here. That's it. So my seams, I'm going to press that one that way because it's going in keeping there. I'm going to press this one this way because that's where it's telling me it wants to go. And you'll be able to see with yours exactly where you're seeing. So they're going around that square just as we stitched it. So now I can flip that over and we can give it a little bit of press. Let's pull that out. And you can see already how much better that looks just for being pressed. So, I'm pretty rubbish with this, aren't I? So that one goes there, that one goes there, and this one goes here. So we will take that back. So the next thing I'm going to do, whoops, is I'm going to move this one right sides together, and I'll put a couple of pins there because I'm going to take it back to the machine. And so I'll put a pin to hold that together, so I know that's going there, and then this piece is going here, and we'll put a pin there. So I'm going to stitch now along these edges so that when we open it out they'll be all joined together. Okay, so back to the machine where I shall be sitting, and we will just bring that round. So what I'm going to do first of all, and I should have done it earlier, I'm just going to clip these little dog ears off. That's it, because they are irritating. So clip those, clip that one, and that one. So I'm just clipping them to the edge of the rectangles, that's better, and we'll flip that away. So I'm just going to line that one up into that corner, and then I'm just going to stitch down that edge, and all those seams are flowing in the right direction as well. So again, pull those edges so that they all align perfectly, and then what we will hopefully have is those points still intact and not chopped off. But you know, at the end of the day, if you can live with it, you know, it's your creation, and everyone's creation is different. Oh yes, we've just got those in there, but so they're going that way and the others are going that way. It's absolutely fine. I think they say if you look at it 3 times or from 9 yards or something like that, and you notice it every time, then unpick it and do it again. So again, we're just lining those up, and they match perfectly at that end too. Let's see, that's it for this time. As I say, we're stitching with the way the seams are pressed, so they're not likely to twist. That's it, and we're also keeping our points as well. Okay, so there we have, oh, they're just there. So there we have our points. So I'm not going to move I'm not going to move it around again because it just messes up. Oh, I've just seen my cutting mat. So I'm just taking it over, and I'm just going to press those seams so that they are, whoops, no, we'll move it that way actually. I'm just going to press the seams so we're ready for the next step, which is adding on the flange. So let's see, those are going to go that way. Okay, and that one just over there. So we want that just nicely pressed, ready for our next step. Now the next step, as I say, is the flange to go around the outsides, which I have already pressed those so that we don't have to go to the ironing board again. So there we are, we're all nicely pressed now. So we're going to add the flanges, which are these, let me bring this down here, these pieces. So these are the flanges. So rather than, this is only about 1/2 inch, rather than stitching an inch strip, which can really show if you wobble a little, we're going to use a straight strip that's folded in half and laid on the top. So you can see we've got our Flying Geese design. So there is our design. I've now got myself 2 pieces. I mean, yes, 2 pieces. I've got 2 widths of fabric. There is my flange, which I folded in half wrong sides together and pressed it. So I've now got a nice narrow border. And what we're going to do is we're going to put these, so you can measure. Now, it should measure the same on each side. Now, I've got this at 15 3/4. Let's see what it is this side. Oh, 15 3/4. So, I'm going to cut myself 2 pieces. I'm going to cut off that selvage piece, and I'm going to measure 15 3/4, and I'm going to cut 2 pieces of exactly the same length. So there is one. Now before you could have checked that again just to make sure that that is, yeah, and I cut that a little bit long. So obviously that wasn't quite 15, oh yes, 15 3/4. There we go. I'm going to trim that off just a little bit so that that fits perfectly. I must have, there we go. So then I'm not going to measure again, except I'm going to use the piece I've already cut, and, oh no, that's my other piece. So this is the piece that I cut it from. I can cut 2 pieces exactly the same length. So I'm going to put the two pieces together, like so, like so. And as I say, rather than measuring again with a ruler or tape measure, I'm just going to cut. So I've cut them next to each other, and then I know that I got two exactly the same. So we will pin this to the side. So the raw edges go to the raw edge at the side and a line up at the side. Now I do use pins here, so we will pop a pin in there, and we will put a pin in here. Now, if one of your sides is slightly longer than the other, what we do is we make it fit. So to make it fit, what I would do, fortunately mine are the same, so I can just put a pin in the middle. If they are slightly different, if you find the centre point of your strip, that's the wrong piece, this piece here, if you find the centre of your strip and mark it, so we will do this on this other side, and so we'll find the centre and we'll put a pin there. All right, oops, easier said than done. So we put a pin at the centre of our piece, and then we'll find the centre of our quilt. So if we turn that, it should be that seam, which it is that seam there. So we can put the pin, oops, I've lost it now. So it is, where is it? Just there. So that's the centre seam there. So I'm just going to put my pin where that one is there. So I've lined that seam with my pin, and we'll put the pin back in to hold it together. And then hopefully what should happen is that that still fits to the bottom there, which it does, and it should fit to the top here. And if it let's just put that down like so, and then we know that that is perfectly rectangular for those two sides. So from there, what we need to do then is we need to put the top and the bottom. So this measures 9 3/4. No, that's a 25 there. Where are we? Yeah, 9 3/4. So let's just have a look. I said I wasn't going to say any measurements, didn't I? Yeah, but that is right as well. So both of these need to be the same. So actually will come out of one of the end pieces there. So again, that fits there. So I'm going to trim that little bit off. And like so. Whoops. And then I can take my other strip, so that in the kits you will have more than you need. So if you did accidentally cut it too small, you'll have enough to be able to cut another one. So there is my second piece. Again, as I say, whoops, go under there. So again, I've cut myself two exactly the same. And again, we're going to put the raw edge to the edge here. And what we can do is take out the pin that, so we don't need to neaten off these edges because they are going to be hidden. So I've taken that one out, and then we'll go to this one here, and we'll pop that, line that up. I can see that that just needs to, that's it. Line that up, take the pin out and replace it to hold those, and then down to the bottom, and we'll do the same thing here. So raw edges are there, place that down to the raw edge of your quilt, take the pin out and replace it. So it's just holding it basically in place, and then at the same at the other side, just flip that around so that we can take the pin out and replace it. So now all we're going to do is stitch around those outer edges. So I am doing a slightly longer stitch. Well, I've taken it up to a 5. I could do it to 6, but I'm just going to stitch around. Let's come in a little bit more, just to hold it in place. Now this is sort of belt and braces thing. So I'm going to hold this end here so that that aligns, and I'm stitching within 1/8 of an inch of the edge, like so. So we're just, oh, I've just run out of thread. Isn't that typical? That's it, we'll just cut that off. So change the bobbin. So let's see that I can find that. I have, there is my empty bobbin. I knew we wouldn't get quite that far. So I want that to come down that side, and where do I want it to go? Dum-de-dum, in there and round there. Just clip that bit of thread off. Hold that so that we can find that. Can't see that there. There we go. And push that in. Pull that down. Push that down. Now let's just see. I'm going to hand and up. Oh, that's it. It's pulled my thread up. So we looks as though we are fine. Okay. So new bobbin in. Start from where we ended. And as I say, I'm just holding that. Lovely. And for those of you that have a machine like this, I oiled mine yesterday because I thought I really need to oil it. So just pivot around the corner, and then, as I say, it's just about, oh, no, I've missed that little bit there, haven't I? That's it, let's take that back. Didn't get that first little bit aligned with the edge properly. That's better. Okay, so I'm just pulling that so that it's, I won't say taut, just so that it aligns together. So I can pull that pin out, and then here as well, keeping those edges really, really aligned so that we know it's perfectly straight. And I've still got that in perfectly. Oops, just lifted that up. So it's just holding everything together. So you could have, the next point I'm going to do is to add our borders, and you could have done them all at the same time, but this way it just means that there's no way that these flanges are going to be moving, because we don't really like unpicking, do we? Just go back a little bit more. So around here we go again. So I'm watching these edges here, pushing that together all the time. Take that pin out. I'm going to make a little pin cushion to sit on the top. We haven't done that for a long time. So that's it, I can see that. There we are. You want all these edges to, and you line up. I can see that, yes, that lines up there. So, and what it will do by just doing these extra little steps, it is going to, oh, we finished, that's it, we've gone all the way around. So by anchoring those down, that's going to give us a perfect finish. So what you'll find is, the next thing we're going to add is our border strips. So I am going to cut those at the same time, actually. So let's just trim off the self edges. Okay. So whatever length, if you did measure the length, you cut your long edges, these border strips will be exactly the same. So I'm just going to line that up to that side, because we're putting the straight edges here again exactly the same. So I'm just going to cut along here exactly the same as my flanges. And the first thing I'm going to put my long sides on first, because I did that on that occasion. So having cut that to match, I'm going to align that with that edge at the top. I'm going to reduce my stitch length back down to just under 2, 1.8. I might put some pins along here, or as it's a small quilt, I can just hold it by pulling it. So I've got those edges lined up, and there we go. So I pull it so that the fabric moves over and just lines up. There we are. It lines up with my raw edges the whole way down. And if you do this, it means you're going to get a perfectly rectangular quilt once it's done, rather than a distorted one. Okay, so there's our first piece. We can swivel that around and align that with the top. Take your first few stitches in there. So now that that's anchored, I can go to this other end, align that bottom corner there, and I just hold on to that. And what you can do, I'm just holding on to, I'm lining up. You see how I'm lining up that edge there with the fabric. Move that over a little bit because it's still lining up there. And straight down here. So now that I'm on the table, I can see, I can just move that nice and easily so that that lines up perfectly. Okay, so the next point would be, there, can you see those beautiful flanges there? The next point would be to actually press that back. So because I'm not going to go back over to the iron again, I'm just going to nail press that down for the moment. I will press it shortly. I'll put the iron on to go. So you can see already how that looks better when it's, oh, there we are. I thought I'd made my finger bleed and got, there we are. So I'm just nail pressing that outwards, just so that I don't get any puckers in here when I put the top pieces together. So we've got two sides on there, and then we've just got top and bottom to do. So again, we will take our piece. Now this should be, no it won't, it'll be bigger than your flange, because this time we've got these outer borders on. We're going to take it past, so I'm keeping my fabric together. So we are taking that past there, and that is going to fit across there. So it will be longer because we've got the borders to take into account. So that is across there. I've lined that up, and I'm cutting it exactly the same width as, I'm going to put a little pencil mark there, down to there. And you can use your rotary cutter or your scissors, but I'm just going to trim that, knowing that I don't want to cut my quilt, but I've cut myself two pieces that will fit across the top. So let's take our first piece and line that up with that edge there. So I've lined it up with that corner, and all right, let's just see, it's better to put it to actually look a little bit closer rather than do it from a distance, because sometimes you're not quite in line with it. So I'm just holding that to the other end like I normally do. Pin across here if you want to. Absolutely fine. I think we're doing really, really well for time. Because I said 7:45 and it's just on 7:45. So we'll just stitch across here. So there is our top or our bottom, and here is our other side, so the top or the bottom. Let's just line that up and pop that under, making sure our seams are facing outwards. So again, I just like to hold the other end and line that perfectly, and then if you just sort of pull, just so that's taut, it's not a stretch, but just by holding it like this, it means that we don't get any lumps or pleats in this seam. And also I can see that all those, the raw edges are lining up with the raw edges of the quilt. So it's here. So I am just going to, oh, I've got my iron still on. I'm just going to take it to the ironing board and I'm just going to press that out so that you can see what a difference that makes. So I press that out and we'll press that out that side too. And I shall be with you in in about 10 seconds or so. So just push that to the sides. It is easier to do it at the time rather than wait till afterwards, but the way I'm working with the camera today was absolute rubbish. So there it is. I'm going to take that out and flip you back up. Thank you. Here we are. I haven't gone anywhere. Whoops. That's better. So, there we go. This time it is how it should be. But you can see how those flanges are, they make them look so, yes, when you know how to do it. Obviously, around the edges, you can see where this flange is, it actually takes the, where's my other one? It takes the points off, doesn't it? Why have I done that? Oh, I know what I did. I know what I did. What I should have done. Ooh. Or we can leave it like, I did add an additional border within there because obviously it's taking those points off. So, but it does work. Oh, Trisha, you are such a, can you see here? Completely forgot. Can you see how the points are still intact? Because I forgot. Under the flange, there is another little border. So, I am going to go, not straight on, I know Martin's got my dinner ready. Before you start making yours, I am sure, actually, yeah, the instructions will say how to do this. So, once you have the first bit, when we've done all of this, instead of putting my flange directly on there, there is another background border. Now, in the instructions it said it, but it doesn't tell you in the requirements to pop it there. Bother, how naughty am I? How naughty. So, as I say, in the as you actually go through all the instructions, it tells you to do that. And these borders, these first borders, which I forgot to put in, will be the same length as the flanges. It's just these outer borders that are a little bit longer. But, so that's how it should be. Not like that, where all the points are cut off. They're under there. I wonder what I might do. I might do this a bit differently. I might turn it back and stitch it. I'll think about how I can correct that rather than... but those will be your two colourways. So if you like your blues or your purpley ones. So this one is Heather and Sage from that range by Macawa. And this one is a little bit of Island Blue and Bluebird by Edita Satar. So, I'm a little bit irritated. And with this one, it will also have, when it's quilted and with the wadding, it will have a border like that as well. So it will edge it as well. So, thank you so much, all of you. Another little, or another new thing to be able to do, as in Flying Geese, and also putting your Flying Geese with a square in the middle. Otherwise, if you'd have had 2 Flying Geese together rather than 4, you could have easily put that into a 4 patch, but we've made it into 4 rectangles around a square, and we've achieved a square around there. So, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Not here tomorrow, but on Thursday it will be, all things being equal, it will be the haberdashery sale. So I've got lots of different pieces, as in rulers, we'll have zips, we'll have probably some bag hardware, anything that's not fabric we will have on Thursday. So have a great evening, have a lovely tomorrow. Let's hope the weather is very, very nice, just like it's been for the last couple of days. And Vanessa, yes, I will see you tomorrow, but I won't see the rest of you during the evening, because it's not one you need lots of zips, Nifty, do you? I shall have to sort them all out because I've got lots. Okay, so take care of yourselves. Thank you for joining me tonight, and I'll see you on Thursday. So bye for now.